Our very first night is the second episode of Full House, and I have to say, although it is the second episode, it does feel like the first proper episode. The first episode was very much setting the scene, introducing us to the characters. Here we get to dig a little bit deeper, and this one mostly focuses on Jessie, because it starts off with Jessie, Joey, and Danny getting the girls ready for bed, and all three of them go to leave the house at once. That's not going to work when there's no babysitter. Danny basically explains that, and through not very logical tactics, they come to the conclusion that Jessie is the one to stay at the house that night. And things don't necessarily go to plan, or at least go to Danny's plan. Because while Danny and Joey are off doing their things, the girls, DJ and Stephanie, get out of bed. They instantly trick Jessie into letting them have ice cream, bearing in mind they should be in bed asleep. And then Jessie has invited his band over to practice. And that's kind of the first look we get as Jessie the musician. And Jessie's music becomes really important to the show and to a lot of narratives and plot lines as the show progresses. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't want to spoil it. I have, of course, seen Full House all the way through. But it's the first proper look we get at him as a musician. We see him putting a poster of Elvis up over Stephanie's pink bunnies in the bedroom, and there's a really strong look at changes that are happening, and we see for the first time properly just how much of an upheaval this is for Jessie, and how difficult it's going to be, but essential for everybody to get used to each other and living together. Jessie having to be used to looking after the girls having to get used to Jessie being an authority figure and having to not wrap him around their little fingers. But I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought it was a really great way to get to know Jessie more, to kind of see the dynamics within the household, and also to get to know DJ and Stephanie as individuals, because in the first episode it was very much DJ and Stephanie have lost their mother. Their life is being turned upside down. Joey and Jessie are coming to move in the house with them. But here we get to see them just being little girls and having fun with it and chancing their luck and having a party. And I love their outfits and I love their hair. I have to say they looked fabulous. They really did. And great performances, of course, from Candace, Bure, and Jodie Sweetin. It's always hard to kind of imagine just how young they were at the time because their performances are fabulous. And Mary-Kate and Ashley were adorable as Michelle. I can tell Mary-Kate and Ashley apart, no problems these days. But when they were younger, certainly when they were baby Michelle, I still can't do it. I still struggle to identify them, which is very shameful because I've been worshipping them since I was about 8 years old. But nevertheless, when Michelle was in it, she was very cute. I really like this episode. It's a good way to start off the main point of the narrative, and that's everybody getting used to everybody and everybody living under the same roof. And I really enjoyed it. I loved Stephanie with her bedtime stories. I thought they were absolutely adorable. As I said, I loved the girls' outfits and their hair when they were partying. Loved the conga. Had a lot of fun with that. And Michelle teething. Absolutely adorable. Our very first night may not be the very first episode, but it does feel like the step on the path to the rest of this first season and what comes after it. Needless to say, it's a brilliant episode. It's emotional, it's heartfelt, but it's funny. Definitely a very strong kind of start to the season.